Today on the show, we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to make the most out of your convention adventure. So con season has just started. It's kicking into full gear. There's conventions all over the place going on. And today I wanted to give you guys a lot of really good and useful information for those of you who have never done cons before. I've been doing them for like 10 years now, so I've got a lot of good insight that can help you make the most of your experience.
Comic convention? Why would anyone want to go to a comic convention?
But what are you talking about, Robot? You went to Comic-Con last year.
Yeah, but I was too busy being cool and famous and partying. Roll that party footage.
Get back, motherfucker, you don't know me like that. Get back, motherfucker, you don't know me like that. Yeet, yeet, I ain't play.
All right, well, enough about you and your celebrity bullshit. Let's talk to the folks down home who are getting in the trenches, who are doing it at the conventions this year. All right, I know that conventions are sprouting up all over the place. They're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's more and more people coming to these. And in fact, I was just at Indiana Comic-Con, and I talked to a lot of people, and it was their first and or second convention that they've ever been to.
So what all kinds of stuffs do you do at a convention?
Well, Robot, first we're gonna go over everything that you can do at a con. Now, I was recently at Indiana Comic-Con, so I'm gonna be talking about a lot of my experiences there and using that as my main example. And then later on, we're gonna go into the tips and tricks for any convention, you know, no matter what kind of convention it is, things that you need to bring, things that you don't need to bring. And we're gonna show you an awesome prosthetic cosplay I did at Monsterpalooza. Start off with cosplay. One of the things that you can do at a convention is dress up like your favorite character. I highly recommend everybody try it at least once. It is so much fun. You get to make a costume, you get to make something, and then you get to like be that person and not be yourself for a day, which is like, I don't know, I get bored of being me sometimes and I like to just be somebody else for a whole day. And it's so much fun. And it's also really great because if you have a badass costume, people will come up to you and be like, oh, can I take pictures with you? And you kind of feel like a little bit of a celebrity. And that is tons of fun. And if you're really into cosplay and you have made a really amazing cosplay costume, you can decide to enter a masquerade contest. A lot of cons have cosplay contests these days.
Have you ever done a costume contest?
I have done one costume contest before. I did the masquerade at Dragon Con. At Indiana Comic-Con, I did not cosplay, but instead I got to judge a cosplay contest for the first time, and that was a lot of fun.
You're a predator, am I right? I love this outfit. Come on, people, give it up. Come on, own it. Thank you later. Miss Marvel, everyone. Doomsday. Oh, please let me help you. I really don't.
Who's your favorite cosplayer at the Masquerade Contest?
My favorite cosplayer at Masquerade Contest was Zorn. Somebody dressed up as Zorn from New X-Men. Not a lot of people know this character. He's not as well known, but he is just so awesome. If you've ever read Grant Morrison's New X-Men, you will totally appreciate this. His helmet lit up. It looks so great. So that guy was definitely hands down my super fave.
He attacked the team from the inside, leading to the death of Jean Grey.
Indiana Comic-Con is a newer convention. It is in its second year. And honestly, after going to all of the cons that I've been to in my life, I really enjoy going to newer cons because it's a lot easier to navigate. It's not like ridiculous like San Diego Comic-Con where you just want to kill yourself by the end of it. You can see stuff, you can talk to people, and in fact, like say you want to, there's an artist or somebody there that you want to talk to, you'll have more time to talk to them because at San Diego or these bigger ones, it's like they're just so busy that you never get any time with them, and it's kind of a bummer. I highly recommend trying some of the newer cons out, especially if this is your first con. I wouldn't go to like a ridiculous con right off the bat. I would try some of these newer ones that are cropping up all over the place. They're so amazing.
I'm a beginner, so I should go to a beginner con.
Yes, beginners going to beginner cons are great. That's a really good mix.
So So all you do at a convention is dress up in a costume?
No, that is not, and you're not obligated to dress up either. You don't have to if you don't want to. But another obvious big thing that you can do at a convention is walk the convention floor. You definitely want to do that first. I highly recommend going around everywhere before you start making your purchases.
What are you walking to?
Well, okay, so you have the convention floor. It's huge.
This doesn't make any sense.
God. Okay, so there's all these booths in the floor, and this is where you have all your vendors, your artists, you have your signings going on there, all sorts of weird stuff.
Do you get in the booth?
No, you don't get in the booth. You go to the booth and you buy their wares. That's what you do, all right? People are selling you awesome stuff, so you go there and
So
you
it's
get
like a
awesome
shopping mall?
Kind of, yes, you're finally, yes, it's like a shopping mall, okay? But like I said, I highly recommend making a sweep of the floor before you start making purchases because you may find something that's way more awesome somewhere else and you're like, crap, I spent all my money already at this one thing. So yeah.
I've never been to the mall before.
Well, that's a shame. One of my favorite places to go on the convention floor is Artists Alley. That is where all of the artists set up shop and they're selling a lot of their prints and wares and things like that. And so usually when I go to cons, the number one thing that I buy is artwork from people.
Did you buy any artwork at the con?
I did buy some prints from Jason Edmonston at Monsterpalooza. I love his work. He signed them for me, so I got to get some frames. Really excited. But there's all sorts of artists at cons. You got illustrators, you have comic book artists, you have every type that there ever was is going to be there. And you can meet a lot of your favorite artists at conventions. I like to follow my favorite artists on Instagram and Twitter, and they always let you know where they're going to be. So, Jason said he was going to be at Monsterpalooza, so I found him, and I bought some stuff from him, and it was awesome. Cons are a great place to find like obscure stuff that you can't find usually in stores or online, and also like bootleg stuff. Like there's always a lot of weird bootleg stuff running around, so.
Bootleg, what's that?
Where they get like all these like, I don't know, like racist cartoons from like fucking Looney Tunes and then put them all in a DVD and then you can watch all these fucked up cartoons that like they do not want you to know about.
Don't beat me, Master. Please don't beat me, Master. Don't beat that tired old body. No, don't.
Or Roger Corman's Fantastic Four movie. I mean, I've seen that at DVDs all over the place.
It's problem time.
Another thing I found at Indiana Comic-Con was boxes in action. These guys make these amazing comic book boxes. They make short boxes and long boxes with these really cute designs on them that are comic book themed. And you can keep, all your comic books in one place. So this was one of my favorite finds of Indiana Comic-Con.
So all you do at a convention is dress up in a costume and go buy stuff?
No, there is so much more stuff to do. We haven't even gotten into panels. Those are the real reason you should go.
I'm confused. What's a panel? What do you do?
Panels are kind of like little mini classes, like you're going to college or something. They have these like lectures and things like that where you can go learn about things that you're interested in. In the information booklet that you get, you can see all the panels that are going on all day.
What panels did you go to?
At Indiana Comic-Con, I went to a panel with Alan Bellman, who is the last surviving Golden Age artist who has worked on Captain America in the past. Him and Stan Lee are the only two guys left from that era. And back then, Stan Lee was just like an errand boy, so this guy was in the mix. And that was a lot of fun hearing his stories about working in the 40s and the 50s and things like that.
Did you ask any questions?
I asked him about Seduction of the Innocent, which we talked about in our Epic History X-Men Volume 1, which is a book that effectively kind of ruined the comic book industry in the 50s. Moms got together and burned all these comic books because they thought they were corrupting their children. And so because of this book, this man could not draw comic books for a little while and he had to find a different job. And it like totally ruined his life for a while. In fact, Alan got really emotional about it and was saying at the end that whenever he sees somebody who asks him for money on the street, he'll always give them money because at one point, because of Seduction of the Innocent, he was super, super poor. So he knows what that's like. So that was really interesting to hear a first-hand account of how that book ruined a comic book artist's life. It for real did. In addition to Q&A panels with artists, writers, and celebrities, there's also a smattering of tons of different things you can learn about, such as how to pose in your cosplay outfit, the religious symbolism in Battlestar Galactica and other sci-fi. there's just tons of stuff. Like anything weird that you want to learn about, there's generally some sort of panel there that you're going to be interested in.
Is there a panel on how to fix this button that fell off 5 episodes ago?
There might be. In fact, there are panels on everything, so there's a good possibility.
What else do you do at a convention?
Well, after the exhibitor hall closes, there is still things to do.
Like what?
There are things like karaoke. I went to a karaoke deal in Indiana and I got to see some really awesome karaoke cosplay shenanigans going on.
What else?
There are movie screenings, particularly bad movie screenings, and also like anime movie screenings.
Like what movie that was bad?
We went and saw the Troll 2 screening, so.
Ooh, I heard that's bad.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Like what else do you do?
There's also LARPing that goes on.
What is a LARPing?
Live action role playing, where you have like a Nerf stick thing and you get to hit other people, or like a little ball and you pretend you're a wizard, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
What else do you do at a convention?
Some conventions have speed dating, so if you're single, you can go try your luck at that.
Oh, what? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I don't think robots are allowed at the speed dating, so.
I'll be there.
And I do want to mention, there is usually a gaming area. I don't really go into the gaming area because I'm not really a gamer, but if you are into tabletop games, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that, even video games, there's usually like arcade stuff going on too. So for all you gamers out there, there's usually a little area for you as well. And also, sometimes some conventions have after parties. I got to host Indiana Comic Con's after party, and it was a lot of fun. It was at a club though that was like separate from the convention, so you gotta go somewhere else generally for the party. But yeah, that's also something that you can do. If you wanna go meet someone, like try to do it on like Friday or Saturday, because by Sunday they're probably like hungover and super tired.
That's a helpful tip. Do you have any more tips?
Oh man, I have got a lot. Let's get into the tips and tricks now. So here are my tips and tricks on how to con. Number 1, I suggest getting your tickets online ahead of time. Usually it is cheaper, and also things like such as WonderCon, they've been like selling out on Saturdays and stuff like that, so you don't want to get there and it be sold out. So get your ticket online, do yourself a favor. Number 2, you're gonna want to bring a backpack with assorted goods inside to help you through this con, okay? One thing I highly recommend is water. Get a giant bottle of water, you're gonna need it. Also bring snacks. Maybe even bring a sandwich or something like that, because at the cons, you're gonna have to spend like $5 on a bottle of water, and you're gonna have to wait in line for 2 hours to get $10 tacos that suck. So don't fall into that trap. You'll waste a lot of time in these lines. Bring as much foodstuffs and waters and things like that as you can.
Got it. What else?
Also, bring cash. Not every booth has the ability to swipe a card, so I highly recommend cash. That's a really good thing to bring. Also aspirin, Band-Aids, stuff like that, you know, things that you might need. Tampons if you're a girl.
Tampons, Band-Aids, what are you expecting to happen?
Anything can happen. It's a con, okay? You might be walking so much that you get a blister on your heel, and you're gonna need a Band-Aid so you can keep walking. That's just how it works. My next thing is the clothing that you need to bring. If you are not cosplaying, I highly recommend bringing a jacket, because they make these places really cold in anticipation for all these people being in there. So sometimes it's kind of uncomfortably cold, and then sometimes it's really hot. So you need to bring like layers of stuff, okay? Because it's gonna go from hot to cold, hot to cold. Also, shoes. Wear really comfortable shoes. Get some gel insoles, because you're gonna need it, all right? You're gonna be walking your little ass off, because this is an all-day affair, okay? You don't just pop in and out and then go home. It's
Those
like
are
an
only
all-day
for old
thing.
people.
No. Get comfortable shoes. Trust me, you're gonna thank me. One of the purchases I made that has been like a lifesaver for me is I bought this plastic tube that has a strap on it. So when you go and buy some artwork, you can just put it in your tube and you don't have to worry about it getting bent up at all. So definitely bring one of those if you're getting some prints and arts and stuff like that.
Unless your intern completely loses it.
Unless your intern loses it and now you don't know where it is and you have to go buy another one. You can also make a makeshift one if you just get a cardboard tube and then just like, you know, put a little string on it, kind of like this. You can put your art inside, you can put it over your shoulder, you're good to go. One thing that I suggest you not bring is your baby or small child, especially on a Saturday. If you're gonna
Why?
Well, okay, so first of all, strollers are just gonna piss everybody off, all right? Because it's gonna get cramped on Saturdays, and you get this big ass stroller, and it's just in the way, and it's just not fun, and your kid's gonna get pissed off, and he's gonna start crying, and everybody's gonna hate it. And like, if you're gonna bring your kid, and it's a smaller child who can't kind of walk on his own yet, try to do it on a Friday. Those are usually the lightest days at a con, and so that's when like it's not a big deal, and if he like is over it, then you can just take him somewhere and it's not a big deal. But Saturdays for sure are bad days for small children.
What else should you not do?
Here's a secret, okay, that a lot of guys don't seem to know for some reason, is that girls have a sixth sense. All right?
What? They
yes.
do?
Yes. Like, you know when someone is looking at your titties or your butt, you know it. You just know it, okay? Even if they can't see you, they know when you're looking at them. And
Is
it makes
like
them,
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's weird. And it makes them feel really uncomfortable, and the whole thing is like they're trying to like have a good time and look hot and all this stuff, but they don't want to be like, they don't want people to be creeping.
Gosh.
You don't want to be a creeper.
The whole time?
You don't want to ruin it for them, because if you
Why
act
did you
like
tell me this?
if you act like a creeper, then like you're going to discourage girls from dressing up half naked, and then you're never going to see them half naked. So if you just play it cool and you don't act like a weirdo about it, you're going to see more half naked girls. So, you know, just play it cool, guys.
Okay, I gotta write that down.
Or sometimes people will try to sneak a picture of my rear end and say, all you have to do was ask.
Yeah. Just ask. You don't have to sneak it, just ask. So the guys that ask for a picture, that's pretty cool, all right? And then you have the guys that try to sneak the picture. That's a little weird. That's what I've been hearing, is that the sneaking is weird. At the bar, they try to sneak the picture, and then you ask if they want it, and they're like, no, I got the picture. That's a little weird. Yeah.
I am cool with people looking at me. That's fine. When people they ask for a picture with me, I'm okay with people like getting close to me. But when somebody like puts an arm straight around me and is like virtually on my ass, there's a line. Like, I'm here with my boyfriend, and we're both huge nerds, and I understand that I'm wearing not much clothing. People are gonna creep on me, but like, don't fucking touch girls.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't touch us any more than you would touch your sister. Okay.
So, be honest, how many creepers have you dealt with today?
Quite a few, but it's not been bad. It's especially weird because I'm actually 16, so that's a little weird. A lot of people don't know I am.
I did not know you were, so...
Thank
the worst
you.
thing has been the elevators.
Oh, the elevators?
Okay, hold on.
Like,
Tell us about the elevators and escalators.
Yeah.
Guys get behind you in elevators and escalators. They think nobody's paying attention.
You know.
It's kind of gross.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, guys don't know that we have a thing in our heads to where we know when someone's looking, whether they're behind us and we can't see them or not.
Creepdar.
Yeah, creepdar.
Gross.
And if you're not a professional photographer with a card and a high quality camera, don't ask girls if they want to do a pinup photo shoot later. Okay? Like, that happened to me yesterday after a guy went on and on about his Norse-themed porno screenplay, and I don't want to, like...
Yeah.
No! And he had, like, a Sony Cybershot point-and-shoot kind of thing. Like, that doesn't make me feel like you're a professional. You're going to masturbate to that later.
Right.
Well, I actually cosplays Black Widow also, and I've got a lot of people taking pictures of my butt.
Yes.
So, but thankfully I'm with my dad, who is Agent Coulson, so it's okay, I'm safe.
How do you deal with all sorts of weirdos here at Dragon Con?
Well, of course, compliments are always welcome. I am drawn this way, so I do kind of expect a little bit of attention. But I do think, you know, basically if a guy approaches you, you're not very interested, it's nice to take a compliment. Once that's done, though, politely walk away.
Now, did you guys go full cami with like the thong in the back, or did you guys cover it up a little bit more?
I'm covered. Had to cover it.
I know, I'd in the same boat as you, lady.
They start creeping a little bit. Luckily, I have a few bodyguards, friends. Keep them close, ladies. Don't go by yourself. It's just not a good idea. You'll have more fun with friends anyway.
There you go.
I guess amount of clothing doesn't really matter. If somebody's dedicated enough to being weird, they're going to be weird.
Yep, you've heard it here.
For a convention like Indiana Comic-Con, it's definitely a whole day to 3-day affair. You can definitely have fun there all weekend long. But there are smaller conventions, I like to call them micro conventions, where you can just kind of do it in an afternoon. I recently went to one in Burbank. It's called Monsterpalooza. It is a horror themed convention. There's a lot of special effects artists, prosthetic makeup people, and all sorts of weird stuff there. And that was super fun because it's just like in and out, not a big deal. You don't have to plan your whole life around it, you know, if you're just looking for a little bit of fun on the weekend. I highly recommend going to one of these super small niche conventions.
What did you do at Monsterpalooza?
This year, Cinema Makeup School asked me if I wanted to partner with them on doing a really awesome prosthetic makeup that we could do at the convention live. And they asked me to design anything I wanted at all to do prosthetic-wise. So I came up with the brain bug, because sometimes, you know, I can't think real good and I have a brain bug. So I drew a picture of the brain bug of what I wanted to have happen. I gave it to 2 of their top students and they replicated this. They went and they made a whole casting of my head for this. That was a lot of fun. Then they did a sculpture and made the bug and all the stuff and put it on me at the show. It was in front of everybody on a stage, so people were walking by while this process was going on, taking pictures and stuff like that. And after it was done, I got to hop off the stage and go around the convention hall and show off my awesome brain bug to everybody. And that was a lot of fun. I took some really fun pictures. There was this one picture with this little girl that I really liked. She was like so excited and I got her to like hold the brain bug and like we were hanging out together. It was so much fun. It was such a blast.
What is Cinema Makeup School?
Cinema Makeup School is a makeup school here in LA where they teach you how to do prosthetic makeups, beauty makeups, things like that. A lot of their students end up on shows like Face Off and things like that. It is so much fun. We took the brain bug off and I can think so much clearer. One of my favorite aspects of going to conventions is getting to meet my favorite artists and writers, people that I really admire. And last year at San Diego Comic-Con, I got the chance to do an interview with Ladrone, who illustrated Final Inkle. My God, this guy is just, his artwork, it's ridiculous. And I just feel so honored that I was able to talk to him. So stick around after the credits to see our interview with Ladrone. And don't forget, our Epic History Volume 1 is on sale on Vimeo On Demand right now. Check it out. It goes from 1963 to 1975. It is an hour-long documentary. It is our finest work that we have done to date. I'm so excited about it, so please go check it out. There is a trailer on this channel, all right? You can go get a taste over there, or over here, or over there, over here. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr for all your Comic Book Girl 19 news and updates. And if you want to know where I'm going to be this summer, what conventions I'm going to, be sure to subscribe to my Facebook page because that's where I put all of my schedule stuff going on. Whenever I figure out where I'm going, I put it on there. So if you need to know, that's the place.
Hey everybody, I'm at San Diego Comic-Con at the Humanoids booth with artist Ladrone. I'm so excited to be here. I'm such a huge fan of your work. Final Inkle just came out. There's 2 versions of it that are just absolutely immaculate. I was wondering, how long does it take you to do a page on average?
Okay, it depends very much what kind of page. There are some pages very complicated and it takes sometimes 2-3 days, but in some cases when you find something very complicated, it could be probably 2 weeks sometimes.
I know you've worked with Marvel when you first started out. How was that? How did you get into Marvel?
Oh, I think it was by accident. I was next to a friend. I was like just a translator, and there was 2 Marvel editors. One of them was very boring. When he told me if I was an artist, I said, well, yes, yeah, more kind of, because I was not prepared. But since he was very worried, he asked me to if I can show samples of my work, and I did. So he immediately gave me his card, and we started to be in touch.
Well, I know you've ended up doing a lot of work with humanoids, and was that more of your plan to get into more European comics?
Yeah, well, I love European comics, and all the time my work, my artwork have been always focused on that direction. So when I started working on Marvel, I had to use a different kind of style. I was more Kirby style.
Yeah.
So the readers could be more familiar with that kind of stuff. Otherwise, in those days, if I do something more European, more Mobius, it will be very difficult. The other thing is Marvel characters need a lot of strange, a lot of dynamic, a lot of energy, and European comics is something different. So you need to mix things in both styles in order to do something good for characters like Spider-Man, X-Men. So that was what happened.
Well, what artists really inspired you growing up? I know that you're inspiring a bunch of people. We'd love to hear who inspired you in the first place.
The first comic book artist that I think inspired me in some way, I think it was Jack Kirby, one of the first ones. When I was growing, I had the chance to see one day the Black Inkle by Jodorowsky and Mobius. And I think that was a very important book for me because after I saw that, it's when I thought, okay, I would like to become someday a comic book artist. That was not my real plan. I wanted to be a painter, but a fine art artist. But that book definitely was one of the important books in my life.
Well, how do you feel about being inspired by Mobius and Jodorowsky's Black Inkle, but now you're working on Final Inkle? How did you end up doing that?
Well, the thing is, I had a conversation with Alejandro one day about doing this book, The Final Inkle. But it's very difficult for an artist to try to follow Mobius in a book like this.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he did a very unique work. So if you start copying what Mobius did, it won't be good because this was a different story, different time, different moment for the characters, and Jodorowsky wanted something special. And if you want to create something special, you need to start from the beginning. So I decided to see what Mobius did because it's important. He was the original artist of the series. But at the same time, I did my work. I did what I know to do. And the other thing is, Alejandro modified the script for the Final Inkle just to have the right things for me. He knows people very well, and he knows me very well too. So he knows what are my strengths. So he prepared everything for this book in order to have the best of me in the book.
What would you say is like your favorite book that you've done, like your magnum opus, if you will?
I'm happy with the most of my work of my books. I don't have I won't say I don't have a favorite book, but because every single book gives you something, but at the same time sometimes it takes you something. I'm very happy right now with the Final Inkle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for example, how can I say that I won't happy with the first book that I did in my life? So it's very difficult. Those books are your kids, your child, and you love all of them.
Yes.
So
don't want to pick a favorite.
yeah, it's difficult to pick a favorite. I think one of my favorite right now probably is the last book that I did for this Final Inkle, because in that book I was reaching the end of the story. So that was some kind of emotional moment for me. So I will say probably that last issue is one of my favorites.
And here at San Diego, they have these exclusive 10-pack of tarot cards that have been illustrated by Ladrone. They're so awesome. This humanoid swag was like my number one thing to get this year. I was like, I've got to get those tarot cards. That's it. And I got them. I feel like I've had a successful con. And not only that, I got to have a wonderful interview with Ladrone. Thank you so much. We love your work. I can't wait to see more from you in the future.
Thank you very much for being here.